Alright, so let's talk about this Lumix G7. I've had this camera for 2 years now. It's the first camera I started out with. If you don't know, maybe don't follow, but I run a YouTube channel and I do hiking. So I take this on all my hiking trips, and I've been using this, like I said, 2 years. I haven't had a single problem out of it. It's super light. That's why I've opted for the Micro Four Thirds camera, because it does, weigh less, and I'm hiking around, so I wanted to, be conscious about, weight I was carrying with me. The best thing about this camera, to me, my favorite feature, is this little flip screen here, because, I'm filming different angles while I'm hiking. I can, get down on one knee and turn this, and if the sun's like glaring in a certain way, it ain't always just, like most cameras, just sitting there like this, where I have to get down level and look or whatever. Like I can, take it and angle it however, or shoot down and turn the screen up like that. I'll be looking up this way, and it makes it so much easier. It has the viewfinder there. It shoots in 4K. It's got 16 megapixel shoots in 16 megapixel camera. It's a mirrorless camera. Here's a lens right here that it comes with, a little kit lens, and I have put this thing to really good use. 1442. Super small, really light. Battery has pretty good battery life. I've bought some knockoff batteries that don't even come close to this one, and maybe put out half the battery life that those do. But this one's really nice. It costs, it's not too expensive. Alright, so overall, for anybody starting a YouTube channel, I would definitely recommend this camera. The autofocus is great. It's a good camera to learn on. The price point is amazing for all the features you get combined in this camera, with the 4K and the autofocusing and the flip screen. You can use this thing as a webcam if you wanted to. It's got all the plugs right there. If you wanted to use this as a webcam, you can do that as well. Like I said, 16 megapixel camera. I have other lenses that I've shot photos with, and it does look pretty good. So definitely give this camera a shot if this is like one of your first cameras. It is an amazing buy.
We at Canon are proud to announce the release of the official version of our EOS webcam utility software for Windows. Now let's learn how you can turn your compatible Canon EOS camera into your main webcam using only a USB cable. What's up everyone, I'm Renato, Senior Pro Market Specialist for Canon USA. And in this video, I will show you how you can use your compatible Canon EOS camera as a high quality USB webcam for your online video conferencing and live streaming with a Windows computer. This video is divided into 3 parts. In part 1, we will learn how to install the software on your computer, how to set up the camera, and how to enable EOS webcam utility within your favorite application. In part 2, we will learn about the updates from the beta version, and in part 3, we will talk about our support materials and our online community, which may be helpful for you. So let's get started. Before we start, if you have the beta version of EOS webcam utility installed on your computer, be sure to uninstall it before proceeding. To begin, you will need to download the new software. Head over to our service and support page to download EOS webcam utility for Windows. The link to the page is provided in the description below. If you are based outside the United States, please visit the Canon support website for your local region. Once the download is complete, extract the zip file and double-click on Setup. After installation, you will need to restart your computer. And don't forget to check out the included README files that are in the zip file. They will have some tips on how to get the most out of your experience with the software. Now let's get your camera ready. First, turn on your camera and place it in movie mode and set it to a full HD quality setting. Then adjust your exposure settings to your desired look. Once you've locked in your exposure, you can then connect the USB cable to the camera. Now the next step. Connect the other end of your USB cable to one of your USB ports on your computer. From here, open your favorite video conferencing or streaming application and locate EOS webcam utility in your video settings. Select EOS webcam utility, and you can now use your compatible Canon EOS camera as your dedicated webcam. But if you don't see your live feed and you do see any of the following error screens, please visit our website to learn more details to help troubleshoot. If you still need further technical support, head over to our support page for more assistance. As you can see, I'm currently using a traditional USB webcam as my video source. But once I switched over to EOS webcam utility, I am now using the Canon EOS RP as my new web streaming camera, offering a better looking image for all my online video meetings and live streaming.
I just love this camera for so many reasons. This is the Canon Rebel SL1. I love this camera because it's so small, it's so light. It does not have a fold out viewfinder, so that really cuts down the weight and the bulkiness of the camera. So the camera body is so small. Like, I think this lens is probably heavier than the camera body itself. So I love it. I figured when I was getting my starter DSLR, I just wanted something small, portable, light. I could always upgrade the lenses as I go over the years. So this is an ultra wide lens. I love this lens for portrait photography, for sit down YouTube videos. I can have it pretty close to me, but zoom all the way out and I still capture like my whole kind of setup here. I don't use it for live streaming. I just use it for videos and photos. What I like about this lens, the kit lens that this camera comes with, this is an STM lens, meaning it has the silent autofocus. And for anyone who's shooting YouTube videos, any kind of videos where you're recording the audio, we all know that horrific like sound when a camera is autofocusing, but it's audible in the recording. So something like this has a silent autofocus. You will not be able to hear your camera lens adjusting. Obviously, one way to avoid that sound is to shoot in manual, but with a lens like this, it's a silent autofocus. I feel like the kit lens is great. I just was in the market to...
It's really all about interacting with kids, getting to know them, making them want to get to know you. You can't just stand there and throw a great camera in their face and start snapping away and thinking that the images will be awesome, but there'll be no connection there. It's really about getting down to their level, making them want to get to know you, and making yourself interesting so that they want you to take their picture, and then you really get their personality.
Do you think you're cute enough for more pictures? I don't think so.
I'm Summer from Summerlin Photography. I've been doing this about 5 years now. I started off with an intro DSLR, and after I had kids, I started taking pictures, and I started my business soon thereafter. Well, like every mom, and I think every child photographer that starts out, we have kids and we want to capture their moments. So we all get an SLR, and we all shoot our kids on auto, just so we can get amazing moments captured of our kids growing up.
Good.
We've been shooting with this camera for 5 days now, thousands of shoots, of millions of kids, and it's an easy camera to use, and the image quality is insane. I've never really been able to look at my image straight from the camera, and I come from shooting professional cameras. I use the D3S and the D4, and even shooting with an intro 3300, the images are insane.
Let me see, Sienna.
Summer's laughing
your mama
at me.
goof?
Oh my God, look at Sienna.
Not cheek to ear. Just go like this on your hand.
I don't shoot the hard shots or the easy shots first. I actually feel it's really important not to just jump out and start taking pictures right away. The first thing I do, I always have my camera on me so that the child knows that I do come with a camera, so it's always in my hand. But the first thing I do is get on the ground and get to know them, because that's obviously the most important part, is connecting with them before I really put my camera to my face.
Let me see your best twirl. Shall we watch her?
You don't want to capture your moments with your smartphone just because that's the only thing you have on you. Nikon made this great camera, really small, so that it's easy to bring with you everywhere. It just makes it easy to throw into your diaper bag when your kids are of that age. It makes it easy to throw in your purse and bring it everywhere with you.
I love it.
Hello, I'm Dan Bracaglia, writer and editor at Digital Photography Review, and I'm standing on the beach in Golden Gardens, Seattle with the Fujifilm X-T10. We just finished reviewing this camera and thought it'd be nice to come back out to a spot where I did quite a bit of the field testing with it to share some final thoughts. The camera itself looks a lot like a traditional film SLR, but don't be mistaken. The viewfinder on this camera is actually electronic. It may take some getting used to if you're coming from an SLR, but the detail of this EVF is actually quite good. Up top, there's a shutter speed dial, exposure compensation dial, and dry mode dial. Also, many of the lenses for this camera offer electronic aperture rings around the lens barrel, making them quite intuitive to use. The body is made of magnesium alloy, giving it a solid build quality. However, it does not feel heavy in hand. One feature I find particularly helpful when shooting this camera, especially when shooting candids here at Golden Gardens, is the flip-out LCD screen. Another really nice feature of this camera is the ability to customize many of the buttons on the camera body. The camera is quick to start up, and it's quite responsive. It can shoot bursts up to 8 frames a second, or if you prefer a slower frame rate, 3 frames per second. Face Detect, a feature that picks the focus point based on the nearest face in the scene, was quite useful when shooting candids from the hip. Unfortunately, it works better when shooting in single-shot AF than in continuous AF. This is unfortunate because continuous AF when shooting a moving subject is obviously much more sensible. The X-T10 also features 11 baked-in film simulations that are quite useful and a lot of fun to try. The camera also has the ability to shoot RAW, and in doing so, it allows users to reprocess images in camera in any of the 11 film stocks. One area the camera does not excel at is video capture. Video resolution is a bit lower than we'd like to see, and false color tends to be a problem. Ultimately, the Fujifilm X-T10 is a well-built, highly customizable camera with retro stylings and plenty of physical controls. Image quality is good in low and bright light, and AF performance functions well in most shooting scenarios. For more on the Fujifilm X-T10, head to dpreview.com to see our full review and a sample gallery of images, many of which were shot right here at Golden Gardens.
Hi, I'm Barney from dpreview.com, and this is the Fujifilm X-T10. The X-T10 is an APS-C format mirrorless interchangeable lens camera that sits beneath the flagship X-T1 in Fujifilm's X-series lineup. The X-T10 inherits a lot of the core technology of the X-T1, including the same 16 megapixel X-Trans sensor, but houses it in a smaller, less expensive body. Although it lacks the weather sealing of the X-T1, the X-T10 is solid and well built. Body construction is a mixture of magnesium alloy and textured rubber, and ergonomically we have very few complaints. As far as image quality is concerned, the X-T10 is very much a known quantity, since it shares a sensor with several other X-series cameras. Probably the most notable aspect of the X-T10's feature sheet compared to earlier X-series models is its AF system. In theory, new zone and wide tracking modes get the X-T10's AF system closer to dynamic 3D tracking systems. In practice, from our initial testing, the X-T10 tracks well in the depth axis using its phase detection AF sensors. 16 megapixels might not seem a lot compared to some 24 and 28 megapixel sensors in competitors, but real-world resolution is high, and we really like Fujifilm's color rendition. For more information on the X-T10 and a lot more besides, visit dpreview.com. Thanks for watching.